Hello, everyone, and welcome to English for You. I'm Mike.
And I'm Laura.
And Eric and Tracy are at the music festival while we're stuck in the studio talking to you guys. I bet you'd like to be at the music festival, too. I know
Who doesn't?
Laura and I definitely would, but unfortunately we can't. We have to work. You guys have to study English. But Tracy and Eric, they're going to have a great day for us as they're at the music festival. They're both pretty big music fans, I think it's safe to say, right? Yesterday, they were both really excited to see some of their favorite groups.
I think Eric kind of wants to talk more about I like acoustic and I also like pop music. So he wants to show his sense of music or maybe he just knows how to enjoy music.
Okay,
and
possibly. And Tracy definitely liked her indie rock, right? She wanted to see TV Toe and Horses.
Those names. So funny, yeah.
Well, it is. It's really hard to think of group names. So I think any name you can think of is totally fine. Because really, once you become famous, it doesn't matter what your name is. I mean,
think about Mayday.
Coldplay? Yeah. What kind of name is Coldplay?
Yeah,
but it doesn't matter because they're famous.
They're famous.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The Foo Fighters. I think even the guy from the Foo Fighters is like, it's kind of a stupid name, but it's our name. Who cares? The fans like the music. The name doesn't really matter. But anyway, yeah, you're right. TV Toe especially is kind of an unusual name. All right. So Eric and Tracy, they were just talking about the festival yesterday, really, as they were waiting in line to get in. They're making a bit of a plan about what bands they wanted to see and when they were playing. And then, of course, they exchanged their tickets for wristbands, and that meant officially they were in the festival.
Woohoo!
They could start to really enjoy their day. So let's check out what they're going to do in day 2 of our dialogue, all about visiting a music festival.
Reading.
Live music and good times. A trip to a music festival. Eric and Tracy get their wristbands and enter the festival.
We're finally in. Where should we go first?
That's a good question. There's so much to see.
This poster indicates who's playing, but it doesn't tell us the performance times.
Let's download the festival app. That should have all the information.
Let's see. TV Toe is at 2 p.m. and Horses are on at 5:30 p.m.
It looks like Joe Slug will play on stage 4. His show starts at 11 a.m. That's in 15 minutes. But wait! Golden Sun Ride is on stage 2 at 11:30 a.m. I'm considering seeing some of Joe Slug's performance first. Then we can head over to stage 2 to see the second half of Golden Sun Rides. What do you think?
That sounds fine to me, but I'm starving. Let's quickly grab some snacks before we go to see Joe Slug.
Okay, cool. So today it seems to just kind of continue right where we left off yesterday, because first we read Eric and Tracy get their wristbands and enter the festival. So they were just exchanging their tickets for wristbands. They have the wristbands, they put them on, and now they're in the festival. And Eric says, we're finally in. Where should we go first? He asks Tracy, in other words. Tracy says, that's a good question, right? She hadn't really thought about what to do first. There's so much to see. As she says, it's hard to choose.
So we're probably going to find out what are some goodies or some good stuff there we can go check out. Okay, so 一开始我们看到他们终于进去了，因为最后我们昨天好像是衔接昨天他们兑换手环，所以表示他们已经进入这个音乐季了。然后 Eric 当然就是很期待、很兴奋啊，可能他们排队排很久了，好不好？他说 We're finally in， 终于在里面了。诶，不过呢，他就想说哇，里面的区域可能很精彩很大。Where should we go first? 我们应该要先去哪里呢？ Tracy 感觉突然也是愣住了，因为你知道太多选择就有选择障碍。他说真的是一个好问题哦。There's so much to see， 太多可以看了啦。
That's right. So they're going to have to make some hard decisions pretty soon. But Eric notices something that actually might make their whole visit to the music festival much easier. He says, this poster indicates who's playing, but it doesn't tell us the performance times. Oh, come on, festival people. You got to put the place and the time on the poster. Otherwise, no one knows. But anyways, at least this is a little bit helpful. And yes, if you're going to a festival, look around for a poster like this that indicates where the bands are playing, when they're playing, because you don't want to miss your favorite group because you just weren't sure what time they would be on. What is a poster? A poster is basically a large picture that is used for advertising or for art or something like that. A lot of people might think of the movie posters you see when you go to the movie theater. They'll have posters of the movies that are playing, a big picture with a picture of the stars on it, some writing with the title, maybe the names of the actors at the bottom. A lot of people like to check out the coming features posters in the movie theater, the movies that will be there in a month or two. Ooh, I want to see that. Oh, look, there's a new James Bond movie.
Ooh,
and these
exciting.
Things are often advertised with posters. And of course, we see posters in all sorts of other places. On buses, they'll have posters advertising in the subway, on the sides of buildings and trucks and buses and, everywhere. If you want to get people's attention, you can design a beautiful poster and it will really catch the eye. And of course, some people use them as decoration in their room. You might have a favorite poster of your favorite band or your favorite athlete or something like that as well. For example, the walls of my brother's bedroom are covered with posters of his favorite horror movies. And as Eric was saying, the poster in the festival, it indicates who's playing. When something indicates something, it shows something, it points in a direction, it points you to the right information. When you see a police officer sort of pointing their arm, saying, everyone turn this way, they're indicating. When we have those lights on cars that flash to show if the car is going to turn right or turn left, that sort of orange flashing light, we call that an indicator light. It indicates which way the car is going to go. In the same way that an arrow on a sign in a store pointing you to the bathroom or the exit or the ATM machine, that arrow is indicating which direction to go to. So it's basically a sign or a light or something that is communicating, sending important information. For example, the red light indicates that we must stop the car here. Yeah, red usually indicates stop. Green usually indicates go.
Go.Right, OK. 所以很妙的是在这个音乐季啊，我觉得主办单位要讨论一下他说这个海报有写出谁在表演，但是呢，就是他没有告诉我们表演时间。Oh my gosh, OK, poster. 我们先来看一下这个字就是海报，这是个名词。刚刚我们一直提到，就是有些我们很喜欢的经典的电影的海报，如果放在房间好像还不错Movie posters 就是电影海报，或者呢，你可能会提到，你可能很喜欢的乐团啦的一个海报啊，你也可以放在房间I want to get a poster of my favorite band, BTS. Yeah, and then stick it in my room. OK, indicate 这个动词就是显示、指出。OK, 像是呢，除了刚刚我们有提到 red light， 对不对？通常就 indicate stop， 就是可能会显示，就是表示它是要停止，要小心。但有时候报告也会显示一些数据啊，像是 Our survey indicates that 1 in 5 children is bullied at school. Oh no.
That's not nice.Oh, well, hopefully they can go to a music festival and become nicer people, those nasty bullies. Anyways, they don't like bullies at music festivals, so if you're a bully, don't bother going. You're not welcome. Back to the article. It says, well, that's Tracy, actually. She says, let's download the festival app. I like Tracy. She's got a good brain in her head. That's a smart move. That should have all the information. Sure, if the poster doesn't show you the time, although some of them do. Sometimes they have like a timetable. It's maybe organized by the different stages, and it shows you who plays first, who plays second. You can just get your phone and take a picture of that. That's really handy. Or if they don't, they might have a festival app these days that you can download, and you can put in your ID number or whatever. Maybe it's on your wristband. Anyway, it'll have all the information you need probably much more than just information about the bands, but anything that's good to know is information. That's what information is. Data, facts, generally things that are useful or important. The newspaper has information, or news websites have information about what happened around the world yesterday. If you read the back of some food you buy in the store, it might have information about the vitamins and the fat and the sugar in the food. We get information from all sorts of places, the internet, our teachers, the library, Wikipedia, and we can use that information in all sorts of useful ways. For example, do you think Wikipedia is a good place to look for reliable information?
No, because you can always edit it.
That's true, but often they catch the mistakes quite quickly.
Okay.
But I think it would depend on what information you're looking for.
I see. Okay. 所以我也蛮喜欢 Tracy 的，因为我也可能会做这个事情。他说 Let's download the festival app. 我们来下载音乐季的应用程式。That should have 就是上面应该会有就是什么样的资讯啊？那在课文是提到的 all the information 上面可能会有所有有关音乐季的资讯哦。App 这个字哦，记得大家不要再念成 app， that's wrong， OK？ 就是app， 这就是 application 的缩写啊。对，如果是 app， 感觉它是3个字 A 什么 P 开头的字，然后再另外一个 P 开头的字，但是它其实就是 application 这个字的缩写，所以发音一定要念 app。那 information 呢？这个字就是资讯、资料。那大家可能会觉得我这个知道啊，但是要注意哦，它是不可数名词哦。所以如果你说我想要一些资料关于可能你想要去 Osaka 要去大阪，那你就要说 I need some information about Osaka. Never say some informations. You cannot add an S, okay?And information is always followed by a singular verb. 就是后面当然如果要接动词也是要单数哦，像是这个资讯是非常的隐私的，非常的 private， 我们就可以说 The information is confidential. Okay, but if you really want to talk about one fact or detail, maybe you can say a piece of information or a bit of information.Absolutely,
yeah. There you go. So having a schedule with the band times and the locations would be a very useful piece of information to always have with you at the festival. Back to our dialogue. Eric is trying to figure out what schedule they should follow when the bands are playing. So I think by now they've downloaded the app and he's looking at it for more information. He says, let's see. When you say let's see, it's kind of like, you're kind of thinking and you're saying, I'm getting information now. I'll have something interesting and useful to say in a second, but right now I'm just looking and thinking and trying to figure out what's going on. So, let's see. And you can imagine him kind of scratching his chin or something like that as he thinks very carefully. He says TV Toe is at 2 p.m. and horses are on at 5:30 p.m. Okay, well, that's good news. So now they know when the bands they like are playing, and the even better news is they're not playing at the same time.
Yeah, no timetable
clashes.Yeah, and so Tracy, well, she's also looking at the same schedule,
right?
And she says it looks like Joe Slug will play on stage 4. His show starts at 11 a.m. Oh, that's quite early. That's in 15 minutes. But wait, she says as she notices something on the schedule.
Uh-oh.
Golden Sunride, a band she liked, is on stage 2 at 11:30 a.m. We have a conflict here.
That's the indie pop one, right?
That was the indie pop one that Tracy wanted to see, yeah. And it looks like their shows, their performances are close in time, so it would be hard to see both of them. That's going to be a tough choice.
所以这个可能很多人去音乐季都会碰到的哦，就是首先我们先回到课文这个 Let's see， 就是让我想想看哦，因为他们可能正在一边查看乐队表演的时间，然后一边在想说我们到底要去哪一个舞台哦，那他们就会发现本来啦他们是觉得 OK 啊，就是那个记不记得昨天还有提到 Joe Slug 他们喜欢的这个乐手，他们就说他可能会在第4个舞台表演，但是这个小小问题突然出现咯。TV Toe 跟 Horses 他们没有强碰，可是 Joe Slug 跟 Golden Sunride 他们的时间太接近了，一个在11点，一个在11点半， 所以呢which one are they gonna choose?
I don't know. It's going to be tough. And maybe they would decide to go in different directions and watch the show they like.
Right.
But it looks like Tracy has maybe heard a little bit about Joe Slug, either from Eric or maybe, just she heard some of the music. So she says, I'm considering seeing some of Joe Slug's performance first.
Wow.
Even though she's the Golden Sunride fan, she also really would like to see a bit of Joe Slug's performance. So she's considering going there a bit early to watch him on one stage, and then she'll go over later closer to 11:30 to see the other band she likes. This is something she's considering right now. To consider, this verb basically means to think, but to think about some choices or options or decisions that you're going to have to make. So if you're just sitting there thinking about life, you're not really considering. If you're thinking about whether to have pizza or Thai food for dinner, you're considering. You're like, well, I like that, but that one's more expensive, and I did have that last week. So you're kind of looking at your options, you're sort of choosing them, seeing what's different, what's the same about them, and then after you do some considering, after you consider for a while, you'll probably come up with a final decision. For example, I invited Marlon to come to the zoo with us tomorrow, and he said he would consider it. He's like, I'll think about it, and I'll call you later.
It sounds like he's not so sure yet.
Okay. Maybe he's got something to do, and
That's
he's kind of worried he won't have time, or he's considering
you can just
it.
Go
okay, just
us.
don't pressure him.
Yeah. Okay. 好 I'm considering seeing 什么什么 first， 就是我在考虑先去看什么什么。大家有没有发现这个句型的 consider 后面接的动词是什么呢？动词要加 ing， 考虑做某事哦。像是我想到明年应该可以出国了吧，我希望我的生日我在考虑要不要去东京。 I'm considering going to Tokyo next year for my birthday.
All right, so Tracy's been considering what to do, whether to see Joe Slug, whether to go a little bit late to see her band. So she kind of has come up with her final decision after considering all of those things. And she says, then we can, so after she says, I'm considering seeing some of Joe Slug's performance first, she continues, then we can head over to stage 2 to see the second half of Golden Sunrides. What do you think? Well, that's kind of a cool plan.
Smart.
So I'm imagining, and at most festivals, the groups will probably perform between 30 minutes and an hour. So maybe she's thinking Joe Slug will be about 45 minutes. That'll be a bit after Golden Sunride starts. But that way they'll get to see good amounts of both groups, but they might miss a little bit of one. And that's why she thinks of this plan, but before she decides to do it, she asks Eric his opinion by basically saying, what do you think? Do you agree? Does this sound like a good plan?
I think it sounds fantastic because I like to experience a bit of both.
Yeah, it's kind of nice.
Okay, 所以呢，就我觉得这个，如果我有 Tracy 这个朋友，我蛮爱他的因为他现在想到说，他们可以前半段先去看 Joe Slug， 但是后半段可以看 Golden Sunride， 这样就可以两个都看到哦。那这里他说 we can head over to head， 在这里是当做动词来用，意思是指朝某个特定的方向行进。
All right, so what do you think of this plan? That was Tracy's last question to Eric. And Eric, well, it sounds like he agrees. He says, that sounds fine to me. But I'm starving. Yeah, it's early in the morning. Well, maybe not early, but probably around, it's before 11 a.m., so they probably got up quite early, had a quick breakfast, headed to the festival. So he's really hungry now, and that's why he says, I'm starving. Now, really, when you're starving, it means your body is dying because you haven't had food in like a week or two.
Literally.
That's starving, right? It was a very serious and dangerous situation. But we often also use this word in a much more casual, much less dangerous kind of way, just to say, I'm really, really, really hungry. For example, Ryan skipped breakfast and didn't have time to eat lunch. Oh my gosh. So by 6 p.m., he was starving. Yeah, I'm sure he was. Really, really hungry, but not about to die.
其实我在讲这个时候，我必须要讲，我也好久没吃，我真的今天忙到我都没有吃东西。I'm really starving. I mean, literally, I mean it. 通常呢，我们说就是饥饿的，或是快饿死的OK， 就是会用 starving 这个字，但是我们没有真的要饿死啦，就是一种夸张的说法，就表示 I'm really hungry. OK， 或者你知道还有一个很可爱的说法，就是中文不是说我饿到可以吃一头牛，英文是饿到可以吃一匹马。I'm so hungry that I could eat a horse.
I'd certainly rather eat a cow than a horse, personally.
Of course. Okay. So what do you think then? Are they going to go and grab a bite?
Well, that's what Eric wants to do. And when you're starving, when you're really hungry like that, it's kind of hard to think of other things, or certainly it would be hard to go and enjoy a music performance. So yeah, he says, let's quickly grab some snacks before we go to see Joe Slug. That's a great idea. Go to the food trucks or the little food area. They might have like a little food court, food market, to grab some snacks before they go to see Joe Slug. Now, when you grab something, you kind of reach out your hand and close your hand around something before it goes away, before you miss your chance. You might grab something, quickly grab that before it falls off the table and breaks, or something like that. Here, we're not using it in that kind of way. We're using it to talk about something you have to do, some place you have to go to get something, but a quick trip, all right? So you're going to run to the 7-Eleven is a perfect place to grab a snack. You're not going to go there for 2 hours and spend the whole day shopping. You're going to go there, get what you want, and get out quickly. That's how we use that expression, to grab something. For example, Wendy went home to grab a nap before she went out to see a movie in the evening. I'm imagining she didn't put on her pajamas and take a shower and go to bed. No, she probably lay on the sofa and slept for 20 minutes or something like that. A quick sleep. She grabbed a nap.
Nice. Okay. 所以 let's quickly grab some 什么东西 before we go to see blah blah blah. 就是我们在去看什么之前先吃点什么东西吧。这里的 grab 当然字面上 grab 有拿，很快的拿的意思其实它有迅速的吃，所以像是我们常常说我们去吃点什么 Let's go grab a bite or grab some snacks. 就是说买点吃的很快的这样的意思。So how about let's go grab a bite after recording today, Mike?
That sounds like a great idea. What do you want to have?
Oh, I'm starving. I could eat anything, really.
We should consider our options. All right, well, while we do that, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with our chat question.
For You Chat. Okay, so here's our For You Chat question. What's the biggest event you've been to? Talk about it.
Wow, that's a good question. The thing is, at music festivals, they often don't really tell you how many people are there. And also, they might take place over 2 or 3 days. So it's like, well, how many people were there on Saturday? Or how many people were there over the whole weekend? So maybe one of the music festivals, one of the ones that I'm more sure of, though, was a big sports event. And that's another thing that will have a huge group, a huge crowd of people. And one of the biggest I think you can go to is like a car race. I went to an F1 race, a Formula One race car race in Montreal. And that place, because it's quite big, it had, I think, 100,000 people were there on that Saturday, on the Sunday, the day of the big race. So that was a pretty big event, and, it's lots of fun, but of course it also took us an hour and a half to get onto the subway to get home. So it's also a kind of thing you have to plan for. But yeah, big music festivals, big sporting events, they attract big crowds too. So be patient, come with a good attitude, make sure you're there to have a good time, and you probably will have a wonderful day, but you'll get home late and tired. All right, guys, thanks for joining us. We hope you have some fun summer activities. And please do check out a music festival. They're great fun. It's a great day to spend or a great weekend to spend. And it's always, always, always important to support local artists.
Yes.
And music festivals are wonderful places to do that. So make sure you get out there, have a good time, be safe, and we'll see you back here sometime very soon. Bye-bye.
Vocabulary Review.
Poster. Rita decided to see the new movie when she saw a poster for it outside the theater. Indicate. These great exam scores indicate that you studied very hard for them. Well done! Information. Before you get a dog, you should read some information about owning one to prepare yourself. Consider. Because I need to exercise more, I will consider joining a gym if I have enough money. Starving. I was in a hurry today, so I didn't eat breakfast or lunch. I'm starving. Grab. Elisa was very tired, so she decided to grab some sleep during her lunch break.
以上节目是由活用空中美语制作。活用空中美语杂志，请洽询全国各大书店。如欲索取试听教材，请来电02-2364-4000 02-2364-4000，或上网查询，网址是 www.english4u.net www.english4u.net